Yep, I think we are live.
Yeah. Let's wait for people to join.
Yep, I think we are live.
Yeah.
Yep, I think we are live.
Let's wait for people to join.
Yep, I think we are live.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, if you have any questions, you can just shoot. And before that, we talk a little about sales and marketing. Hi, Kunal.
Yeah. Hey guys. Hi Kunal. Guys, so we are basically going to talk about our summer internship experiences and how to get into sales and marketing roles in your summers. So feel free to ask your questions in the comment section below on the live chat, and we'll definitely try to answer all of your questions.
Yep. Oh. Yeah, Kunal, soon even you'll get a JBIMS t-shirt once you get into JBIMS.
So before we start, I think let's just give us a brief introduction, or should we wait for a couple of
Yeah, I
minutes?
think we can wait for a minute.
Sure.
Just 1 minute, let's wait. Bonjour, Virendra. ¿Cómo ça va?
Please post your questions, guys, if you have anything in your mind related to summers, internships, and marketing. Or
But we'll take those questions after a few minutes, after we've talked a little about why we think we took marketing and sales. What
yeah,
were different experiences in our life that made us go for this field?
we'll also talk about our experiences, particularly, and which we had during our time at JBIMS, and also before that. Uh, so me and Vidhan are from the same college. He is my junior from VJTI, and then now we are at the same batch in JBIMS.
Right. So Shreekanth was in civil branch,
Yeah.
and I was in electrical. I mean, I never saw Shreekanth in VJTI's campus.
Yeah.
That where he used to be.
Busy doing marketing for our committees, I guess. Cool. I think we can start with that.
Yes, we can start. So should I first go?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, guys. So I'll just quickly talk about why I took sales and marketing and why I felt that it was the right field for me. So right from the start, I've been someone who's been really extrovert, who loves talking to people. And even in my college in VJTI, I was working for a fest in the marketing team. And over there, we used to have a lot of negotiations, cracking deals, talking to them, convincing them, and making sure that these brands actually come on board with us and we have a good deal with them. So that's what I really liked during that festival. So that was the first time when I had that inclination towards MBA and that to marketing and sales. And after that, when I was having my work experience, so my work experience involved talking to a lot of people, and I really enjoyed that, making convincing people to buy something, teaching them something, and it's just amazing to talk to a lot of people. So which is why I thought that sales is right for me. Also, once we got into JBIMS, we had done an internship before our summer internship, and that was into marketing as well. So again, me and Shrikant were there for the same company, doing the same life project. So we really enjoyed that, and that is when it became really concrete for me that sales and marketing is for me. And apart from that, I forgot to mention that during my college time, whenever suppose I'm traveling through the train, I used to keep writing some creative ideas that used to come to my mind. So I thought that creativity is some field that I can work into because I can think. So which is why I thought that branding could be another field where I could go. So branding comes under marketing.
Right.
So that is why I chose marketing. Shrikant, what about you?
So in my case, it's slightly different, but more or less it's the same. So I was really interested in entrepreneurship. It's okay. It's kind of a different journey altogether. So what I feel is, if you want to start your own company, if you want to do a startup, so what is the first and the foremost thing required? You have to sell your idea. You have to market that idea. Even if you consider Steve Jobs for that matter, he didn't build the computer. Let's say the Macintosh computer, but he sold the computer. That is what the difference is. And this is something which really excited me. I personally even in my college, I had two different companies. One was a camping store, and another was a washed up. So I really like these new ideas, and to sell these ideas to people, and how would that impact their life, even in the top percentile course. So what we are trying to do is to help students by giving them something which they are lacking. That is mentorship, peer learning, and a good course, right, at the right price. So this is what excites me, and that is the reason why I particularly chose marketing. And apart from that, also few of the things is that based on my work as well, was in a business development and a sales role. I had to connect with a lot of customers. So there are two types of client facing roles. So one is a customer facing role, and one is a B2B role, wherein you have to connect with the business. So both these are different. You have to sell to a business, altogether a different perspective, and when you sell to a customer, it's again a different perspective. But the thing that matters the most is how you pitch your idea, and that is something really interesting, and that is the reason why I particularly chose marketing based on my experiences. And yeah, and also few of the other things are that there are a lot of different career scopes in marketing. Not exactly, let's say, if I do market research, it comes under marketing. If I do sales, that comes under marketing. Brand management, that comes under marketing. Business development, again, comes under marketing. So digital marketing again.
Market
So that
research,
market research as
analytics.
well, analytics, right? So there are various fields, and one more thing is that this is an ever evolving and constantly changing field. So you have to be on par with your competitors. If I'm a company and I'm in the marketing department of it, so I have to look for what my competitors are doing, and I have to be one step ahead of that. So it's not a monotonous or a mundane job. It's really exciting because you're facing new challenges every day, and challenges is something that excites me, and the reason we both chose marketing is, I guess, the same.
So these were a few things that worked for us that helped us take the decision towards marketing. So you all should look for different inspiration. You should try different things in your colleges during your work so that you at least know that this thing works for me and this thing doesn't. So
Right.
I tried finance as well as marketing in my college fest. So I did like finance, but I knew that this can't be uh, the whole part of my life, the main part of my
Right.
life. I would keep
Right.
doing thoda bahut finance ka, like stock markets or other things side by side, but I mainly want to focus on marketing. So keep trying different things so that you can finally make a decision that marketing or finance or operation or HR, whatever suits you.
Right. So Vidhan, I think we can introduce ourselves first, that where we have done a summer internship, what are our experiences, and then we can go forward with what we have prepared for the session.
Right. You can start. You start.
Yeah. So I particularly did my summer internship at Geo, and apart from that, I did a live project in Games 24/7, and apart from that, one more internship was at State Bank of Mauritius. So all these three, I had different roles of marketing in it. So in Games 24, it was kind of a market research internship, wherein we had to analyze the competitors. We have to work on what exactly to enter into a new segment. So what are the different aspects you take into consideration, and then prepare an expansion plan for that. Coming to Geo, it was an Geo Studio. So basically, it was an ad agency, advertising firm. We had to work on strategy as well as strategic alliances role, wherein we had to connect with different brands and pitch our mainline digital marketing and ad solutions. And then onboarding them to us by giving them pitch and showing them how we can improve their market, how we can improve their brand image. And third was the State Bank of Mauritius internship, wherein I particularly was working on an international business development strategy. So what we did was we wanted to, we had a new product with the bank, and we had to market this product in UK and Australia with zero marketing budget. And how do you do that? So you have to, think out of the box, come up with a creative solution, and then do that. And I was, fortunate enough to have these kind of experiences. And yeah, these are my summer internship and live project experience. Vidhan, you can go next.
Yeah, so I was with Shreekanth for Games 24/7. And again, we had this market research work. But then eventually I understood that market research is something which is different from what I like. So that helped me remove one part of marketing that I know that I don't have to do. So market research isn't for me. That's because it becomes really difficult for me to read so much, do so much research work. And I like something more creative, thinking, logic. So which is why I think different fields are for me. So that's one thing that Games 20% helped me with. And my other internship was, of course, PepsiCo. And over there, I was into sales. And PepsiCo required me to do a lot of analytics work. But since it was work from home, it didn't include a lot of interaction with people in person. So it was mostly on calls, talking to people from different levels, different verticals, understanding the business, understanding the numbers. And after understanding the numbers, you recommend them the solution. So that is what happened in PepsiCo. And that was really fun for me because, again, I've told you that communication is what I really like. And sales includes communication, talking to people who are the customer executives, the actual salespeople who go to different shops and sell the Lay's, Pepsi, and other products. And you even talk to people who are managing the whole state, managing the whole country. So that was one of a kind experience for me in PepsiCo. And Mr. 9890, you've asked me what are the different processes. We'll talk about the processes. Don't
Yeah.
worry, we'll cover each and everything in this video. And it's going to be a really comprehensive video. And I
Right.
recommend you all to watch the whole video so that it becomes absolute clear to you that what is sales and marketing, what can you expect during the internships, and if this thing is really for you.
And also how you can prepare, right, for an internship in marketing or a work in final placement in marketing. Apart from that, I'll also urge you guys to share it with your friends. Even they can benefit out of it, because we have prepared a comprehensive plan of what the process exactly is. We've been through this process for the last 1 year, and we know what are the nitty-gritties and what are the sources which you want to prepare from exactly, and what are the different aspects which you can keep into consideration, and how to build your profile as well. So that is another interesting aspect which we are going to cover today.
Also, if you all think that sitting at home making calls is boring, but trust me, Pepsi COVID ke wajah se it was this way. If it wouldn't have been because of COVID, we would have gone out, we would have talked to different distributors, we would have traveled with them, we would have understood the business right from the center, we would have negotiated, we would have taken new measures, new steps, new marketing plan, sales plan, and we would have implemented that. So that would have been something else itself if it would have been offline.
Right. So Vidhan, I think without further ado, we can get into the process of interviews of marketing companies. Right. So I think I can start with the first preliminary rounds. So yeah, so basically most of the companies, what they do have is an aptitude test at first, because they want to check your numbers, like, because if, as Vidhan mentioned, he had to work with different analytical data. So there are a lot of data included in FMCGs, because these companies are very huge, working on a scale which you can't imagine across India, and not only India, all over the world. So aptitude test is the first and the foremost thing. And apart from that, you get a CV shortlist after the aptitude test. And then there is a GD, or there might be a case discussion GD. So we have seen that a lot of companies are venturing into case discussion GD. So what they exactly want to test in GD is that what is your presence of mind and what is your thinking ability. Can you rectify the problem? They will give you a problem statement, for example, and then ask you, कि for example this is XYZ brand, this brand wants to enter into XYZ domain, like a washing powder brand wants to get into a new segment of washing powder. How will you go about it? And you will be given 2 to 3 minutes to prepare for it, and then it will be a 15 to half an hour round wherein you have to pitch in and talk what exactly are you going to think as a brand manager or as a CMO of that company. And you have to given a lot of ideas, yeah, these are the particular things which you can think about. After the case discussion or the GD, then you have personal interviews. Personal interviews are more inclined towards, are you a good fit for the company? They check the behavioral based, they ask you a lot of behavioral based questions. Then they even might ask market entry case studies. They're not they do not exactly want a framework, but they want to think, see that what exactly are you thinking. And then again, it is a CV based kind of an interview. And then the last would be an HR interview. This is the usual flow of any marketing or marketing role in summer internships.
Yeah, so talking more about GDs and PIs. So guys, since sales and marketing involves a lot of talkings, a lot of interactions, so companies usually through GD, they make sure that you are a team player. You
Right.
allow other people to speak, you contribute, you give the group a direction. ऐसा नहीं है कि सब
Exactly.
कुछ भी बोल रहे हैं out of nowhere. There should be a proper direction. There should be a proper framework. So if suppose
Correct.
मुझे कुछ topic मिला हुआ है that is crypto banning crypto a good thing or a bad thing? So first you can give them a direction. Ki firstly you can talk about crypto, what it is. Then you can talk about advantages, disadvantages. Then you can talk about various initiatives that government has taken. If those are enough, if those are not enough, what could happen if these initiatives go wrong. And then finally, after these things, after analyzing all the data, you can finally give a conclusion. So if there is someone in the GD who has given this framework, and if the group is adhering to this framework, it'll be a plus point for the whole team.
Right.
सिर्फ एक आदमी ढंग से कर रहा है and बाकी सब ने खराब कर दिया, तो there's a high possibility that the whole group might be a washout.
Correct.
So it's not just about you. You have to take others with yourself as well. So ये अकेले का काम नहीं है. They want a team leader who
Also,
can give the group a direction.
right. Also, they
Yeah.
look at one more thing is that you don't cut other people while they're talking. So this is also an important aspect. They check कि what kind of a leader are you? क्या तुम दूसरों को भी बोलने दे रहे हो? वो लोग अगर there are some people who are kind of an introvert और वैसे GD में ज्यादा बोल नहीं सकते time constraint में, so they see कि तुम लोग considerate होके उनको भी chance दे रहे हो क्या, या कोई बंदा है या कोई girl है जो ज्यादा voice में बोल नहीं पा रही और her voice is very soft. So are you cutting her off while she is speaking just because you want to make a point, or are you listening to the point and then giving your opinion on it? So these are the few other aspects also which they look into. They just want to see कि कैसे, what kind of a person you are, what is your thinking ability, and what are the nature of an ideal leader you should be possessing.
And Shreekanth ne bola that they don't really expect you to cut people,
Right.
but there might be instances where you're not allowed, you're not getting a chance to speak. सब बोलते जा रहे, कुछ भी कर रहे, तो at that time you have to cut. But the only thing is कि कैसे, कौन से time पे you cut, and जब even if you get 1 second का pause and that's the time when you end up, that's the best thing you can do. कोई बीच में बोल रहा है, and if you try to cut them, then you're gone. So you have to look for that moment where you can cut the people and get into the GD. 3 to 4 times if you get into the GD with good points, you're good to go.
Right.
So try to enter 3 to 4 times and that'll be amazing.
और लोग बोलते हैं कि लाइक कट कैसे करे, लाइक इफ मतलब कुछ लोग होते हैं जो बोलना स्टार्ट करते तो रुकते नहीं है. तो उस केस में मेरा एक ही आइडिया एंड ओपिनियन है कि कोई भी बंदा 10 सेकंड से ज्यादा बोलेगा तो ऐसे सांस तो लेगा 1 सेकंड के लिए बीच में, he'll take a breathe and then he'll continue. तो जब वो सांस लेता है then you can pitch in and come in and तुम्हारा अपना पॉइंट दे सकते हो. So you will definitely get point, but then you have to be on your toes कि हाँ, I have to put my points across. मैं भी इस ग्रुप में कुछ तो relevant contribution देना चाहता हूँ इस टॉपिक को. So these are the basic thing. Apart from that, case ये तो हो गया normal GD में. केस स्टडीज जीडी में दे लुक फॉर डिफरेंट एस्पेक्ट कि तुमको कितना नॉलेज है कंपटीशन का, कंपनी के बारे में. लाइक ऑब्वियसली हमको कंपनी के बारे में ज्यादा पता नहीं होता, बट देन इंडस्ट्री का नॉलेज होना चाहिए. अगर एफएमसीजी की कोई कंपनी आई है तो वो आपको कोई केस स्टडी दे रहा है मार्केट एंट्री का, तो आपके दिमाग में होना चाहिए कि हाँ एग्जैक्टली मार्केट एंट्री के लिए क्या क्या पैरामीटर्स है जो हमारे दिमाग में होने चाहिए. एंड आई थिंक विधान वी कैन कवर दैट लेटर इन द मार्केट एंट्री स्ट्रेटजी. नाउ वी कैन मे बी टॉक अबाउट what should an ideal marketing CV contain? Like, what are the
Just
different
before that,
aspects?
just one thing before that.
Yeah.
During your PIs, they expect you to have a really crisp HR answers, because
Yes.
the way you convey about your product, about your company, that makes the whole difference. So अगर कोई buyer के पास दो companies जा रही, two different companies selling the same product, एक का marketing guy is able to give a crisp answer, tell all the good things about the product, the benefits, the advantages, whereas दूसरी company वाला is beating around the bush, कुछ भी gas दे रहा है and सब हवे वो है, so that would be a big disadvantage. So they look for that during your PIs as well. So prepare your HR answers well. दो तीन बार
Yes.
उसको read करो so that you don't fumble during your interview, and it's crisp and finishes off without any beating around the bush.
Yeah, one more slide, one more thing which I want to add in PI particularly is the behavioral question which I said. So how do you prepare for behavioral question? What do they look in behavioral question? So वो लोग आपको ऐसे पूछेंगे कि आप कोई कंपनी, आप आपका प्रीवियस वर्क एक्स था या कॉलेज में आपका किसी के साथ डिसएग्रीमेंट हुआ था, तो आपने उसको कैसे डील किया. दे वांट टू लुक कि आपको कुछ अगर प्रॉब्लम दिया तो आप उसको कैसे डील कर रहे हो. इज दैट एन आइडियल वे? एंड देयर इज नो पर्टिकुलर आंसर कि हाँ इसको ऐसे ही डील करना चाहिए. You can go on with your explanation and your instance and give an explanation for it. Like मैं बोलूंगा कि हाँ ये particular reasoning की वजह से मैंने ऐसे deal किया इसको और ये मेरा reasoning है. And if they are satisfied with the reason, obviously you'll get into the next one. But they look कि तुम क्या क्या चीजें consider कर रहे हो, तुम लोगों को how do you treat people, are you respectful towards other even under pressure or even under stress. So these are the various aspects which they look in personal interview. And then again CV based questions कि आपने CV में क्या क्या
Mission,
किया.
mission, vision, ये सब देख के जाओ companies के, so that you align your
Right.
thoughts with theirs, and
Yes.
तो उससे वो tuning बन जाता है, and then they feel that you're the right product for the company and they hire
Correct.
you.
One more
Big
important thing is you should know about the company which you are applying for. This is the most important. Like अगर आप कोई कंपनी में जाना चाहते हो, वर्क करना चाहते हो, तो सबसे पहले वो लोग ये भी चेक करते हैं कि आपको उस कंपनी के बारे में पता कितना है. लाइक डू यू नो व्हाट एग्जैक्टली आर दे डूइंग, लोग का लेटेस्ट ऑफरिंग्स क्या क्या है, वो लोग ने मार्केट में क्या क्या नया चीज किया है, वो लोग का हिस्ट्री क्या है. दिस इज द मोस्ट इम्पोर्टेंट कि बिकॉज दे वांट यू टू सी कि भाई इसको कितना इंटरेस्ट है हमारे कंपनी आने में, क्योंकि आना तो बहुत लोग चाहते हैं, बट व्हाई पर्टिकुलरली यू. And how is your CV or your past experience inclining with what the company's vision and what the company is looking for. So that is the reason it is an HR based, CV based and behavioral based interview. These are the basic criteria for a PI of a marketing interview. Yeah, we can dive into what exactly the CV should contain. So first and the foremost thing is what you can do in a short period of time if you are applying for summer internship is that अभी तो तुरंत आप जॉब तो ले नहीं सकते सेल्स एंड मार्केटिंग में, बट व्हाट कैन यू डू इज कुछ सर्टिफिकेशंस कर लिया. जैसे डिजिटल मार्केटिंग का सर्टिफिकेशन है गूगल में, गूगल एनालिटिक्स का सर्टिफिकेशन है. व्हाई गूगल एनालिटिक्स? बिकॉज गूगल एनालिटिक्स में बहुत सारे पैरामीटर्स होते हैं. एक कंपनी के वेबसाइट में कहाँ कहाँ से ट्रैफिक आ रहा है उसका पूरा डिटेल आएगा, एंड जहां से ट्रैफिक आ रहा है उसके हिसाब से आप डिसीजंस ले सकते हो. सो दे हेल्प यू इन मेकिंग बेटर डिसीजंस फॉर अ बेटर ब्रांड बिल्डिंग प्रोसेस. And then digital marketing is obviously the new buzz. I think it's not the new, it's the old. मतलब digital marketing को आके बहुत टाइम हो गया. It is must कि आपको digital marketing के बारे में पता है. SEO क्या होता है, so search engine optimization, what is search engine marketing, what are the different topics in that, कि कैसे आपके वेबसाइट को आप प्रॉपरली बिल्ड कर सकते हो, ई-कॉमर्स क्या है. ये सारे चीजें हैं जो जिसके आप सर्टिफिकेशंस करके एक बेसिक आइडिया जनरेट कर सकते हो. And to get a good source of certification is that Google तो free में digital marketing and Google Analytics से certifications देता है. Apart from that, inbound sales, outbound sales के लिए HubSpot पे certification है which is free of cost और properly explain भी किया गया है. Third source I would say is Coursera. So Coursera पे normally अगर आप जाके देखोगे introduction to marketing के courses है, how artificial intelligence in use in marketing, consumer behavior, market research, etc. etc. बहुत सारे अलग अलग interesting marketing courses है. But the catch over here is कि वो थोड़ा costly है, like 10,000 होता है, कुछ 4,000 होता है. So a hack for that is वहाँ पे एक financial aid करके option available होता है. So financial aid पे आप click करके you can avail a scholarship मोस्टली आपको बस एक 200 वर्ड्स का 2 आंसर्स लिखने पड़ते हैं और 15 डेज में आपको वो फाइनेंशियल एड मिल जाता है। सो बेसिकली वो कोर्स फ्री में मिल जाता है। So that is one thing, and Udemy is also another place where you can go and और वहाँ पे courses सस्ते होते हैं, like 600, 700, 800 में. It's all up to you. If you want to pay, you can go both, or you can try for free as well.
Right.
Apart from that, do you want to talk about the work ex, Siddhant?
Yeah, just one thing before the work ex. So your CV should contain things that allows the interview to think that you're inclined towards marketing and that you have interest in marketing.
Correct.
And sales, of course. So if you're doing certifications like Google Digital Garage, digital marketing, analytics, CSF, so just don't read that once. Make a note of that because they are going to ask you about this during the interview, and you should know a lot of stuff about what you've done. So try to use a lot of technical words that you might have seen during the certifications and use them. Because वरना लगेगा कि बस नाम के लिए you've done the certification and that you don't know anything about it. So
Correct.
first, most important thing, know your CV. Know each and every word of your CV. And apart from that, talking about the work ex, your work ex, I think even if it's in some other field, not just marketing, it's
Correct.
not an issue because sometimes you get into a field that you don't want, that you realize that it's not meant for you, and that you need to change your field. So after the job, you should do a few things that would show your interest in marketing. That means you can do a few internships, you can do a few live projects, you can do certifications, of course. There are study projects. So these things show that, see, because you didn't have a lot of interest in finance and operation, you tried to shift towards marketing by doing this thing, and that now you're ready for marketing. So
Correct.
interview should see that. And
Right.
my
Right.
work ex was, um, I was working for a classes, and over there I was the center manager and I was the teaching faculty as well. So that showed that I have interest into sales. I like talking to people. I try to convert the prospect into our customer. So that
Definitely.
shows that I have interest in sales and marketing. What do you think, Shreekanth?
Yeah, so basically, as you correctly mentioned, you don't necessarily need to have a relevant. What is the meaning of relevant work ex? So if you are applying for a sales and marketing role, the relevant work ex there would be you have a sales and marketing work ex. If you have a core finance, let's say a core technical finance kind of a work ex, but you're really interested in marketing, you can highlight the aspects where you are working in something where it involves selling of some kind of thing. Even if you're working in core finance, you have to sell your product or to the CFOs or to your managers. You have to pitch things. So pitching भी आ जाता है sales and marketing में, because that's what mostly marketing people do. They pitch their ideas. So relevant work ex is not a necessity, but then they look कि आपने CV में क्या लिखा है. Like आपने अगर core finance भी किया है तो उसमें कुछ तो ऐसा aspect है क्या जिसमें आपने लोगों से interact किया है. Interaction should be highlighted. So there are a lot of finance specific roles जहाँ पे you have to to increase the number of clients of your company, आपको बहुत सारे पिक्चर्स या बहुत सारे नए मॉडिफिकेशंस करने पड़ते हैं. तो इसके वजह से कितना इम्प्रूवमेंट हुआ आप लोग के कंपनी के बिजनेस में. सो यू कैन शो दैट कि इन बिकॉज ऑफ योर इंटरेक्शन विद पर्टिकुलर थिंग्स ये इम्पैक्ट पड़ा है. सो यू कैन शो दैट टू द सेल्स एंड मार्केटिंग इंटरव्यूअर कि हाँ मेरे को इंटरेस्ट था बिकॉज ऑफ सम कंस्ट्रेंट्स मेरा ये वर्क था, बट देन eventually I did this. उसके बाद में obviously certifications are the other things which shows कि हाँ भाई इसको है interest. Opportunity नहीं मिली है इसीलिए यहाँ अभी तक आया नहीं है. इसके बाद में it's also good to show some extra curricular. So college में जब हम होते हैं like even if it is engineering या BCom या whatever जो आप कर रहे हो 3 years course, सबसे ज्यादा वहां पे अपॉर्चुनिटी होती है कि कोई भी फील्ड में जा सकते हो, क्योंकि हर कॉलेज इन इंडिया एक ना एक फेस्ट तो होता ही है. एटलीस्ट एक फेस्ट होता है और उस फेस्ट में बहुत सारे एक्टिविटीज रिक्वायर्ड होते हैं, मार्केटिंग एक्टिविटीज होते हैं. आपको आपका फेस्ट अगर कंडक्ट भी करना, इवन अगर डांस कंपटीशन भी कंडक्ट करना है तो उसके लिए भी मार्केटिंग लगता है, वो ऑर्गेनाइजिंग लगता है. तो पूरा वो जो भी है फेस्ट का ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, टॉकिंग टू योर जूनियर जो वो फेस्ट के कमिटी मेंबर्स है, कोर कमिटी मेंबर्स एक्सेट्रा. सो what I am trying to say is अगर आपके कॉलेज में something relevant to marketing अगर आप connect कर सकते हो, so that again helps कि हाँ भाई इसने कॉलेज में तो किया था, but then ये core technical field में चला गया and then ये realize कि नहीं, this is not what I want, sales and marketing is something what I want, and then you can relate to that. So this is another thing. Or if you are good at sports and etc, तो basically it shows that sportsmanship है, team player अच्छा है, leadership qualities है, and extracurricular activities, clubs, committee, social service. Social service is also one of the important thing because वो भी दिखाता है कि हाँ, you are a people's person, you are thinking about people, तुम लोग को help करना है लोगों को. That is also an important aspect of sales and marketing. So these are the
Try
major
to,
outline. Yeah,
yeah, try to quantify a lot of things because sales is all about number.
right,
Sales की job के लिए if you're applying, they should see numbers and that you're good with numbers and that you plan to increase those numbers. So numbers is one thing, and if you plan to get into marketing, show your creative side. Show what new campaigns you've launched, any new initiative that you've taken, new
correct,
campaigns, and what effect that these things have on the business. ये सब करने की वजह से by what percent, by what number the business increased, so that they know that this was an impactful campaign and that it made a difference. Without difference,
correct,
that campaign is nothing. It's bullshit.
correct.
So show numbers, show the impact because of that.
So just to cover what exactly should contain in your CV is certifications related to sales and marketing, your work-ex and connecting points of your work-ex, even if it is technical or or relevant to sales and marketing. How is it relevant to sales and marketing basically? Extracurricular activities such as committees, clubs, and social service activities also in your during your college days. And if you're good at sports, again, that is another highlight to your CV. So these
Also
are the
for
four particular things.
certifications, apart from just marketing, what I feel is psychology is really close to marketing because it involves
Correct.
understanding people's psyche.
Correct.
So you can even do a course on behavior, on different things that affect humans' brain, and what could be done so that you could have an impact, a useful impact on them. So you can do
Correct.
something in psychology as well. That's what I feel.
One
And
more,
I
one
haven't done
more,
one.
yeah, one more hack which I used to do before joining JBIMS was I used to go through profiles of different MBA grads who are working in my dream company. For example, if I want to work in a sales and marketing company, तो मेरा एक ड्रीम होगा कि हाँ ये XYZ कंपनी में मुझे काम करना है. तो उस कंपनी में मेरे प्रीवियस बैच या मेरे से पहले जो MBAs ऑलरेडी कर रहे हैं, टॉप IIMs, JBIMS, FMS ऐसे कॉलेज में, वो लोग ने उनके मैं उनका लिंक्डइन प्रोफाइल चेक करता था ना, टू सी कि ये लोग ने क्या क्या सर्टिफिकेशंस किया है. तो अभी मैं खुद से मतलब डिसाइड नहीं कर सकता कि यार क्या सर्टिफिकेशन करूं या whom do I ask, मैं किसको पूछूं कि मैं कौन सा सर्टिफिकेशन करूं. तो मैं एक काइंड ऑफ अ हैक है कि मैं उनके लिंक्डइन सीवी पे प्रोफाइल पे जाता था एंड देखता था कि भाई इन्होंने कौन से सर्टिफिकेशंस किए हैं एंड ये कहाँ पे समर इंटर्नशिप कर रहा है. सो इट गेट्स यू अ लिंक कि हाँ देखो भाई इतने सारे लोग हैं अच्छे अच्छे कंपनी में काम कर रहे हैं, इन्होंने ये सर्टिफिकेशंस किया है, मतलब रेलेवेंट है. एंड यू कैन ऑल्सो गो एंड चेक माई लिंक्डइन प्रोफाइल नाउ, क्योंकि उसमें भी मैंने मेरे जो रेलेवेंट इंटर्नशिप्स एंड सर्टिफिकेशंस है वो मैंने डाल रखे हैं. So you can take an idea from that as well. And as Vidhan would have also updated his LinkedIn, उसमें भी डाला होगा. So this is kind of an hack to select which
करो
certification.
करो सबका लिंक्डइन देखो, जो जो
हाँ
whatever profile you're interested in, just
हाँ
go to their
yeah,
LinkedIn
not
profile.
exactly marketing, finance वाले भी कर सकते हैं ये.
Yeah, works for each and every field.
So yeah, let's continue to what exactly is asked in an interview. As we have mentioned earlier, that it contains HR based questions, it contains CV based and behavioral questions. One more important thing which it contains is kind of a, when we talked about a case study round and we mentioned that we'll venture more into it. So what exactly is a marketing case study? Case study में क्या पूछते हैं? कुछ companies के GDPI में वो लोग case study पूछ लेते हैं, केस डिस्कशन में कुछ कंपनी में पीआई में पूछ लेते हैं. सो वो क्या पूछते हैं कि फॉर एग्जांपल इफ दे आर सपोज टू लॉन्च अ न्यू ब्रांड, लाइक अभी सफोला ऑयल या कोई एक ऑयल कंपनी है, वो लोग को न्यूट्रिशनल प्रोडक्ट्स बनाना है, तो वो न्यूट्रिशनल प्रोडक्ट्स कैसे बनाएंगे, क्योंकि ऑयल में तो कोलेस्ट्रॉल होता है, फैट्स होता है, राइट. तो वो न्यूट्रिशनल प्रोडक्ट सबसे पहले कैसे बनाएंगे, क्या क्या डिफरेंट एस्पेक्ट होते हैं. सो वी विल टॉक अबाउट टू इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग्स विच यू शुड कंसिडर is what are the market entry considerations which you should know and what are the market entry processes. So I'll try to cover what are the market entry considerations which you should keep in mind if in case you get into situation where you are asked कि भाई case discussion है, ये आपको case दिया है, ये market entry करना है, आप क्या क्या points रखोगे. So for market considerations, there are four most important parameters. One is the industry knowledge, the knowledge about the company, knowledge about the competition, and fourth is the customers. So industry में क्या क्या आता है? So वो इंडस्ट्री में सबसे पहले तो अगर आपको एक आपका प्रोडक्ट है वो नए मार्केट में एंट्री करना है तो सबसे पहला क्वेश्चन रहेगा मार्केट साइज क्या है, टैम क्या है. शार्क टैंक अगर आपने देखा होगा तो इसमें वो शार्क से क्वेश्चंस पूछते ही है, इंडस्ट्री के बारे में पूछते हैं, कंपनी के बारे में पूछते हैं, कंपटीशन देखते हैं, कस्टमर के बारे में जानते हैं. टैम बहुत अश्नीर ने बहुत सारे इन लोग को पूछा था व्हाट इज द टैम. सो टैम इज बेसिकली टोटल एड्रेसेबल मार्केट. फिर उसके बाद में वो लोग देखते हैं कि क्या ये मार्केट ग्रोइंग है या प्रॉफिटेबल है या नहीं है, क्या एंटर करना जरूरी है या एंटर करोगे तो लॉस में तो नहीं जाओगे या प्रॉफिट आएगा. फिर उसके बाद में व्हाट आर द क्रिटिकल सक्सेस होने के लिए क्रिटिकल फैक्टर्स क्या क्या है, लाइक क्या चीज आपको हाईलाइट करना चाहिए. फिर उसके बाद में एंट्री अगर करनी है इस इंडस्ट्री में क्या क्या बैरियर्स है, वो भी एक चीज है जो आप कंसिडर कर सकते हो. थर्ड पार्ट इज द रिसोर्सेस, क्या रिसोर्सेस अवेलेबल है, क्या लेबर अवेलेबल है. इफ यू आर एंटरिंग इनटू अ पर्टिकुलर जियोग्राफिकल मार्केट, वहां पे रिसोर्सेस अवेलेबल है या नहीं, या जहां रिसोर्सेस है वहां एंटर करना चाहिए या कहीं और एंटर करना चाहिए. So these are the basic things which come under industry. Second one is the company, wherein they see ki do you have the financial, technical capability, the operational capability, sales and distribution capability to succeed in this new market. This is the one of the most important thing कि company की खुद की like to put it in a simple word कि क्या आपके company वहां जाने के लिए कि आपकी company की औकात है या नहीं है, like आपके पास उतना capability है, आपके पास इतने लोग हैं या नहीं जो नए जगह पे venture कर सके. सेकेंड थिंग इज व्हाट आर द बेनिफिट्स एंड मतलब पोजीशनिंग क्या होना चाहिए, क्या आप ऑफर कर रहे हो और ये पर्टिकुलर टारगेट मार्केट का नीड क्या है, लाइक आपके कंपनी कौन सा नीड को सेटिस्फाई कर रही है. उसके बाद में ये भी देखना है कि डज योर कंपनी हैव एक्सपर्टीज टू एंटर इनटू दिस मार्केट. जस्ट बिकॉज एक कॉम्पिटिटर जा रहा है इसका ये मतलब नहीं है कि आपको भी वही मार्केट में जाना है. आपको देखना है कि आपके कंपनी के लिए वहां पे सक्सेड करने के लिए एक्सपर्टीज है नहीं, अगर नहीं है तो उसके लिए क्या क्या स्टेप्स हमको लेने चाहिए. थर्ड थिंग वाज द कंपटीशन पार्ट. कंपटीशन में आप देखना चाहिए कि कितने नंबर ऑफ कॉम्पिटिटर्स है, मार्केट साइज क्या है और कंपटीशन का कैपेबिलिटीज क्या है, उसका मार्केट शेयर क्या क्या है, आपका मार्केट शेयर क्या है कंपेयर टू अदर्स एंड इस पर्टिकुलर न्यू मार्केट एंट्री में. उसके बाद में कंपटीशन जो है वो कंपटीशन कैसे है, लाइक प्राइस वॉर हो रहा है क्या उस पर्टिकुलर, लाइक इज इट अ प्राइस बेस्ड मार्केट और इज इट एन एड स्पेंड बेस्ड मार्केट जहाँ पे आपको एडवर्टाइजिंग पे बहुत ज्यादा खर्चा करना पड़ रहा है, या आप प्राइस पे बीट कर सकते हो आपके कॉम्पिटिटर्स को. अगर वो 10 रुपीज में देता है तो आप 9 रुपीज या वट एवर, दैट इज अ प्राइस वॉर बेसिकली. या फिर वो कोई सेलिब्रिटी के साथ एड्स कर रहा है एंड आप एड नहीं कर रहे बट आप क्वालिटी पे वर्क कर रहे हो. सो दीज आर द डिफरेंट एस्पेक्ट्स ऑफ कॉम्पिटिशन विच यू हैव टू कंसिडर. Fourth thing is, do you have a sustainable advantage over your competition? Competition और आपके बीच में advantage क्या है ये figure out करना important है because you have to play on this advantage. So industry, company, competition. Fourth is customer. अभी आपके customers कौन है? You should know who your customers are. What is the expected demand of the customers and what is the market share which we can capture with our idea. उसके बाद में द कस्टमर्स का सेगमेंटेशन होना चाहिए कि कौन सा डेमोग्राफिक है, कौन सा एज ग्रुप है, एंड ओवरऑल कस्टमर का बिहेवियरल फैक्टर्स, लाइक वो कस्टमर्स के बिहेवियर क्या है और आर दे अलाइंड, मतलब अलाइंड विथ आवर ऑफरिंग्स और कस्टमर्स आर लाइकली टू स्विच. मतलब इस सेगमेंट में अगर आप जाते हो तो क्या कस्टमर्स लॉयल रहेंगे, क्या वो दूसरे के पास चले जाएंगे. अगर दूसरे पास जाने का पॉसिबिलिटी है बिकॉज ऑफ योर डिसएडवांटेजेस, then you should not enter the market. Yeah, you can think of a way to enter the market. So these are the basic 4 market entry considerations which you should keep in mind before going for a case study interview. Now, the process of market entry will be covered by Vidhan.
All right. So talking about the processes, so there are different entry options. So suppose your company is ABC. So how does ABC want to enter, suppose India? So what it can do is maybe it can have a merger. It can merge with some other company, for example, Reliance. It merges with Reliance and through Reliance, it plans to start its operation in India. या फिर acquisition. कोई छोटी कंपनी है जो ऑलरेडी इंडिया में है, so they plan to acquire that company and through that company they plan to increase their market share in India. Apart from that, there's a joint venture as well. So you can have a joint venture with some other company in India, and through that again you are selling. And there's one more thing known as greenfield. So over here, what you're trying to do is you're trying to achieve the greatest market share, because this field, this industry has not yet been exploited by the other players. So you try to take advantage of that field, and that is known as greenfield. Now talking about next would be operations. So what is operations? So how do you plan to manufacture your products? How do you plan to how do you plan the logistics, your inbound logistics, your outbound logistics, and from what all regions do you plan to operate? And after operating from those regions, what all regions do you plan to service? मैं हरियाणा में अगर मेरा ऑपरेशन है, हरियाणा से आई एम ट्राइंग टू सेल साउथ वाले एरियाज में, से साउथ वाले एरियाज में हाउ एम आई प्लानिंग टू do my logistics? How do I make my products available in the southern regions? So that comes under operations. Next is marketing. So how do I distribute my products? Distribution channels क्या क्या होंगे? So there's modern trade, then there's traditional distribution channels. So these are different channels that you look at. Your target customer segments. So customers can be divided into according to age, according to income, according to behavior, and then you see who your segment is, then and accordingly you target your customer. Next is marketing mix. So initially there used to be 4 P's, but abhi naya bhoot chala hai, people want to exploit more things. So abhi 7 P's aa gaya, so you should know 7 P's. And these 7 P's are often asked you during your interviews as well. So it is really important that you know your 7 P's. So your 7 P's are nothing but place, price, promotion, people, process, product, and physical environment. So अगर ये सातों का नाम if you don't remember, then you are in big trouble during your interview. So ये सब चीजें तो पता होनी चाहिए. And the last thing is your growth. So a company might have a target कि 3 साल में मेरा break even होना चाहिए. So would that happen with इतना market share? इसके लिए मेरे को क्या क्या करना पड़ेगा? What all regions would I have to service? If I service this region, what would be my market share? 20%. If 20% is my market share, itna I'll earn over 5 years, and itne 5 years my break even. So is that viable? Is that feasible for me? So those are the things you have to look at. Your cost benefit analysis. कितना cost हो रहा है, कितना benefit हो रहा है, वो दोनों compare करके, is it, should we enter this industry? Should we enter this region, this country? So because of these things, to answer these things, people go to consultants, which was covered by Aditya and Harsh in the previous video. So ये सब आंसर करने के लिए ये सब कंपनीज खुद से नहीं करेंगे, they go to consultants. And entry market entry framework is one of the most important frameworks which would be asked in your case interviews for your consultancy firms. So if you're preparing for that, automatically you're preparing for your marketing interviews as well. So
Correct.
That's how it is.
Yeah. So basically we have covered exactly what should your CV contain, what is the process of a summer internship marketing role or a final internship marketing role, and what are the different aspects of an interview, what are the PI basically, or what are the interviewers expecting out of you. You should be prepared with the CV, you should know how to solve a market entry case study, what are the different factors particularly required for a market entry case study. And I think this video has covered each and every one of the aspect which is required. Now the last and the most important thing is what is the source. So source is basically first and the foremost is what is called the Bible of marketing is Kotler. So if you go through Kotler, उसमें आप देखोगे कि हर एक टॉपिक के बाद में उसने एक मार्केटिंग प्लान बनाया है, एक मार्केटिंग मिक्स दिखाया है कि ये कर सकते हैं. एंड इफ यू थिंक कि यार 800 पेजेस का बुक कौन पढ़ना चाहता है, तो यू कैन गो टू इंस्टा पेजेस ऑफ डिफरेंट मार्केटिंग पेजेस. वो लोग ने हर एक नया कोई भी अगर मार्केट एंट्री कर रहा है या लॉन्च कर रहा है तो उसके बारे में एक छोटा केस स्टडी कवर किया है. देयर इज अ वेबसाइट कॉल्ड मार्केटिंग 91, अनदर वेबसाइट कॉल्ड AFAQs, AFAQS. फिर एक और वेबसाइट है मैड ओवर मार्केटिंग. सो दीज गाइज बेसिकली कवर लेटेस्ट ट्रेंड्स इन मार्केटिंग, क्या क्या रिसेंटली हो रहा है, और उसके बारे में वो लोग ने आर्टिकल लिखा है. उसमें मार्केटिंग के हर एक कॉन्सेप्ट्स भी है. मार्केटिंग 91 में आप बस सर्च करो 7 P's एंड एक्सेट्रा, कंपनी के एग्जांपल्स के साथ वहां पे आपको एक मिल जाएगा. So while preparing for CET, or maybe if you're interested in marketing, if you are currently in an MBA college as well, summer internship अगर आ रहा है, तो these are the sources where you can get the data. And the last is current affairs. So current affairs तो required है. You should know कि market में exactly हो क्या रहा है. YouTube is a good source for current affairs. So yeah, these are the basic sources. First is Kotler book, Marketing 91 website, AFAX website, Madover marketing website, Insta pages related to marketing, and current affairs. So these are the sources.
So with these pages, you become aware about what's happening around you. And these are a few things which are often asked during the interview. Ki, tell me what's your favorite marketing strategy by any company which you want to do. तुम्हें पता होना चाहिए that these were a few companies who had come up with quirky and some creative marketing campaigns. So you can mention that, and that could be really impressive. And uh, the interview might actually like that you know what's happening around you, the latest things that's happening around, and that you're keeping a track of it. So let's quickly just tell them what different topics they can study,
Right,
the
right.
basics. So firstly, you should know the difference between sales and marketing. So मैं जल्दी जल्दी बस बता देता हूँ with an example what sales is, what marketing is. So marketing is when you are letting someone know about your product. You're making them aware of your product. So for example, कोई peanut butter है and you see a hoarding. कोई bridge पे जाते हुए you see a hoarding of peanut butter. That's marketing. You're getting aware about the product. You know the product. That doesn't mean that you're going to go to the supermarket and actually buy the product. You're just knowing the product. And once you go to the supermarket and उधर कोई sales वाला आदमी tries to tell you the benefits about the product and you get really impressed and you actually make that purchase, that is selling, that is sales. So that's the difference between marketing and sales. Secondly, you should know the difference between customer and consumer. So example, baby food. So if the parents are actually buying the product, they are customers. People who make the purchase, they are known as customers. And the babies, they consume the food. So they are the consumers. So this is the basic difference. And people often fumble when they are asked this question during the interview. This has happened to me as well, but during the mock interview, not during the proper interview. So now we are helping you with this so that yes, the basic questions may don't make mistakes during your interview. And next would be STP analysis. Shreekanth, you want to take that?
Yeah, so STP is basically segmentation, targeting and positioning. So आप जो भी मार्केट में जा रहे हैं, आपका कोई भी प्रोडक्ट है, तो बेसिकली सेगमेंटेशन करना पड़ेगा कि फॉर एग्जांपल अगर बेबी डायपर्स का कंपनी है तो आप किसको सेगमेंट करोगे? छोटे बच्चों को तो करोगे नहीं जो 0 to 2 years के, because they don't know who, they are not going to buy the diaper. So you are going to target newlywed couples or moms, let's say, because or young fathers as well. So those would be your target. And how would you position that? Is it giving comfort to your baby, and is it giving comfort to you as well? Because what is the basic use of that product, and what are the aspects of that product which make your life comfortable? So these are the basic segmentation, targeting, product positioning example. Apart from that, you get into marketing mix. Marketing mix में, as Vidhan has said, 7 P's है, 3 CP है, company, industry, competitor, customer के बारे में आपको पता होना चाहिए. Then SWOT analysis is the other thing. SWOT analysis में strengths क्या है, आपके weaknesses क्या है, opportunities क्या है, threats क्या है. You should have a basic idea. Also, there are two types of marketing. एक B2B होता है, एक B2C. B2B is basically you are a business and you are providing a service to other business. So it is a B2B. And B2C is basically you are a business and you provide directly to solution directly to the customer. So वो B2C हो गया. तो इसमें दोनों में different aspects है. आपको दूसरे businesses के बारे में पढ़ना पड़ता है B2B में. B2C में आपको कस्टमर के बारे में जानना पड़ता है. एंड कस्टमर के बारे में जानने के लिए देयर आर टू इंपॉर्टेंट रिसर्च मेथोडोलॉजीज. वन इज अ प्राइमरी रिसर्च एंड इट इज अदर इज अ सेकेंडरी रिसर्च. सो प्राइमरी रिसर्च बेसिकली ये होता है कि आप डायरेक्टली जाके कस्टमर से बात करके पूछोगे कि मेरा ये प्रोडक्ट है, आपको कैसे कैसे इम्पैक्ट करता है, एंड उससे लाइव आप लोग उनसे बात करके जानोगे. सेकेंडरी रिसर्च इज दैट आपके पास बहुत सारा डेटा है, गूगल में आप जाओगे, दूसरे दूसरे बिजनेसेस के पास जाके पूछोगे कि भाई कस्टमर का बिहेवियर क्या होता है इस पर्टिकुलर एस्पेक्ट से. सो देयर आर टू डिफरेंट काइंड्स ऑफ researches as well, primary and secondary. Most of the marketing interviews या most of the marketing internship would require you to do a primary or secondary research, because आप जाके कोई प्रोडक्ट के बारे में अगर सेल करना चाहोगे तो आपको पहले पता होना चाहिए कि भाई ये प्रोडक्ट लेगा या नहीं लेगा कोई, और अगर ले रहा है तो क्या है जो पेन पॉइंट ये सॉल्व कर रहा है, क्या, और ये जो पेन पॉइंट सॉल्व कर रहा है ये कस्टमर्स को है पेन इससे, या they don't care only about that, and are they willing to pay for XYZ amount of money for that or not. ये होने के बाद में there are Porter's 5 forces model wherein you go and talk about the threats, the different, what are the rivalry, what are the different substitutes to your company or your product. Third, other part is the pest analysis. Vidhan, you can cover that part.
Yeah, just before pest analysis, Shreekanth has covered almost everything. There's one thing left known as PLC, which is known as product life cycle. So there are
Right.
4 parts of it: introduction, growth, maturity, and decline. So introduction is when you are actually introducing your product. It's a fresh face in the market, and the price is often really high because you feel that it's first in the market and that you can take advantage of it. Growth is when the product is bought with volume and the price declines a little, the distribution increases, and promotion focuses on product benefits. So that's the time when you actually see the growth of your product. Maturity is when the growth is stagnant, not stagnant, the growth is zero. The pricing drops, the product competes with a lot of alternatives, and distribution is really intense, and promotion focuses on how your product is different from that of your competitors.
Correct.
And decline is when the product has reached its end, uh, and it's no more hype in the market, and it's actually going down now, and the business is almost over. And talking about the pest analysis, so for pest analysis, there are a few factors that you consider, and these are some macro factors. Macro means bade factors, not chote mote, and something that can really impact the business. For example, what do you think of bade factors like political, economical, social, technological, environmental, legal? So that is why it is known as macro. It looks at the bigger picture. So P for political, E for economical, S for social, T for technological, E for environment, L for legal. For example, if I talk about vaccines, so if company wants to get into India, get its vaccine, so इसमें problem क्या आ सकता है? Political आ सकता है, there could be legal, and there could be environmental as well if it's a threat to the environment as well. So ऐसे करके you look at pest analysis for different products. A few of these macro aspects dominate over other factors depending on the product.
Correct.
So yeah.
So I think we have covered each and every aspect of a marketing interview. What are the different aspects which you should consider? What are the different nomenclatures which we mentioned? Abhi product life cycle, PLC, pestle ho gaya, where STP, segmentation, targeting, positioning, 4Ps, 7Cs, 7Ps, etc. सब कुछ cover हो गया. Now I think we can go ahead and take some questions. If you guys have any more questions, you can ask. So let's start with what Kunal has asked. What can you add on your profile if you want to get into sales and marketing? Like what really help? So yeah, Kunal, as we mentioned, certifications कर लो अभी तो जाके देखो seniors के profile में कि उन्होंने कौन से किए और वो कहाँ placed है. That is one thing which you can do.
Mr. 9890, it was just GD and PI, one GD and one PI for Pepsico rounds.
Yeah. My Geo Studios was a bit different, so we had to prepare a presentation. Like case study round हमने cover किया था, वैसे मेरा presentation round था. तो हम लोग को एक basically ये पूछा था कि सोनी से IPL के राइट्स स्टार स्पोर्ट्स ने खरीद लिए थे, तो अगर ऐसा होता है तो हमको स्टार स्पोर्ट्स इसको कैसे पर्टिकुलरली ब्रांड करेगा? व्हाट इज द डिफरेंट एस्पेक्ट ऑफ स्टार स्पोर्ट्स व्हिच दे शुड हाईलाइट? स्टार परिवार इज अ कीवर्ड व्हिच दे वांटेड टू यूज, सो उसके रिगार्डिंग हमको एक प्रेजेंटेशन बनाना था कि हाउ वी वुड वर्क एज अ ब्रांड मैनेजर्स टू push this particular aspect of Star in IPL slogans. So we had to prepare slogans also और marketing campaigns भी बनाया था. Marketing campaigns मतलब वीडियो बनाओगे या फिर कोई वायरल इंस्टाग्राम चैलेंज करोगे, इन्फ्लुएंसर मार्केटिंग करोगे, सेलिब्रिटी मार्केटिंग करोगे, ये सारे डिफरेंट एस्पेक्ट्स हमको कवर करना था. सो इट इंक्लूडेड फर्स्ट एंड tell me about yourself kind of a question wherein they asked why we should select you over all the other applicants. Second was a round wherein they had asked for a presentation and we had to prepare a presentation and give we were given some question as I mentioned earlier. वो हो जाने के बाद में last में it was a this kind of a round, what do we call, a behavioral based question round, wherein the CEO came and asked कि यार तुझे क्यों करना है particularly, क्यों ये marketing का role के लिए तूने apply किया, तू क्या लाएगा, what would you bring on board, like मैं तुझे अगर hire करता हूँ तो तू ऐसा अलग क्या लाएगा मेरे company में. They want to look at a creative factor कि तुम में कुछ creative innovative factor है या नहीं, सोच रहे हैं, do you think out of the box, volunteer करते हो या नहीं. These are the few things which worked in my interview. Another question is, yeah, I like to take this question, Vidhan. This is how to get a job for a product manager. So product manager जो है recently, the role which I mentioned in State Bank of Mauritius, it was a product and business development role. So product manager is basically जैसे एक company का CEO होता है, product manager एक particular product का CEO होता है, राइट. तो उसको वो प्रोडक्ट रिलेटेड हर चीज, मार्केटिंग से लेके फाइनेंस से लेके ऑपरेशन से लेके हर एक चीज के बारे में नॉलेज होना चाहिए. एंड उसमें अदर द मोस्ट इंपोर्टेंट थिंग व्हिच दे आल्सो कंसीडर इज मार्केट एंट्री केस स्टडीज और कंसल्टिंग के फ्रेमवर्क्स रिलेटेड केसेस. सो इफ यू प्रिपेयर फॉर अ कंसल्टिंग इंटरव्यू, लाइक उसके केस स्टडीज अगर करोगे तो आपका लाइक प्रोडक्ट मैनेजर का भी जॉब का प्रिपरेशन ऑलमोस्ट डन हो जाता है.
All right. Akash is asking if gap matters. Don't worry, it doesn't. But just make sure that वो gap में you do something fruitful.
Right.
कुछ marketing या sales, whatever you have your interest in, उसके बारे में कुछ भी कर लो. Life project or maybe an internship or certifications, do a course, something of that sort, so that you can at least tell them कि gap में I did not waste my time and instead was trying something.
Right. गैप से लोग बहुत ज्यादा डरते हैं. सो बेसिकली इफ यू नो जस्टिफाई कि वो गैप क्यों है आपके लाइफ में, देयर आर सम रीजंस. और ऐसा जरूरी नहीं है कि मैंने कोई एग्जाम के लिए प्रिपरेशन 1 साल छोड़ दिया तो मतलब मेरा गैप बुरा है. यू कैन बी फ्रैंक अबाउट दैट एज वेल कि हाँ, आई हैड अ डिजायर, आई हैड अ ड्रीम, उसके लिए मैंने गैप लिया था बट वो सक्सेसफुल हुआ नहीं. बट देन आई लर्न सर्टेन थिंग्स which made me eligible or which made me inclined towards what I am applying right now. सो आपको आपका बस गैप जस्टिफाई करोगे तो वो प्रेफरेंस वगैरह वो चेंजेस होते हैं. बट हाँ, ये नहीं सोचना है कि वो मैटर करता है या अफेक्ट करता है. यू कांट थिंक अबाउट दैट. व्हाट इज डन इज इन द पास्ट इज डन इन द पास्ट. यू कांट चेंज दैट. And yeah, Steve Austin, we have covered the marketing certificate part.
And we
Swapnil
will
has,
cover the profiles
yes,
offered for marketing and sales. Poor acad, how to get placement for Complete Mba. Praveen, don't worry. Even Shreekanth had poor acads for his during
yeah.
his college, and he got an amazing placement. So you don't have to worry about it. Just try to get into the best MBA college that you can, and don't worry about the rest.
And there is a reason for poor acad. So everyone has his own reason. Some people have medical reasons for poor acad. Some people, for me particularly, I don't have a medical reason. मैंने बस कॉलेज में बहुत ज़्यादा टाइम स्टार्टअप्स एंड क्लब्स एंड कमिटीज, एक्स्ट्रा करिकुलर एक्टिविटीज में स्पेंड किया था. एंड एक्चुअली मेरे इंटरव्यू का फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन यही था कि why do you have such a bad graduation score, इतना गंदा क्यों है. It's 57% basically. So if you justify, so this was the first question of my interview. और यही क्वेश्चन में अगर गलत बोल देता तो मेरा पूरा इंटरव्यू वहीं बंद हो जाता. But then that gave me an opportunity to drive the interview on my own hand. इसने ये मुझे क्वेश्चन पूछा एंड मुझे एक्सपेक्टेड था कि मुझे ये क्वेश्चन पूछेगा. तो वो क्वेश्चन का जो आंसर के लिए मैंने इतना प्रिपेयर किया कि अगला क्वेश्चन वो इंटरव्यूअर जो पूछेगा उसके लिए भी मैंने बेसिस इसी आंसर में दे दिया था. सो बेसिकली इट गेव मी अ पावर टू ड्राइव द इंटरव्यू. So rather than thinking कि poor academics is my disadvantage, I converted it into my advantage frankly, because the answer which I gave, he was impressed by it, and then he asked question related to that answer. So that is how you can convert your disadvantage to advantage.
Yeah. N is asking, sir, I'm a fresher from analytical chemistry background. Would that be hindrance to getting into consulting? Not at all. Don't worry. There are a lot of people from different backgrounds who get into consulting. So you just have to prepare well according to what Harsh and Aditya had mentioned in the previous video.
Right.
And don't worry about this.
So Steve Austin is asking what are the job profiles offered in marketing and sales apart from ASM. So there are business development roles, there are product marketing roles, project marketing roles. So you have different products and uska alag-alag marketing kaise karoge. Apart from that, I think every company has a different market research, analytics, yeah, already covered.
Brand manager.
Right, brand manager. digital marketing role as well. So there are certain roles. E-commerce में आजकल लोग digital marketing specifically उसके लिए भी कुछ roles ला रहे हैं. So Apnil has asked you, hi guys, I have relevant work ex in advertising. Will my portfolio enhance my chances while applying for marketing internship? Yeah, obviously some people will have an edge over others, but it's how you use that edge. So if you have a relevant experience, then yeah, obviously you can leverage that. आपके tell me about yourself में ही आप explain कर सकते हो कि मेरे पास relevant work ex है, and that is why I'm interested towards it. Ria has asked, I have 2 years of work ex in business development. What are my chances? So everyone has the same chances, Ria. So it's all about chances. तो सबसे पहले aptitude test के बाद में decide होता है. So even if you have an FMCG work ex, but आप aptitude test में fail हो गए, then there is no chance. So obviously that is the first and foremost, and the process which we have explained, वो आप एक बार देख लोगे तो you will get an idea. Everyone has same chance, but if you have an advantage, work on that advantage, highlight that advantage in front of the interviews. Yeah, I think this is it.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah,
I think we've covered everything else.
yes.
And guys, any questions that you are asking right now, everything has been covered before. So just look at the video right from the start and all your answers would be answered.
Suraj has asked one last question where he's asking, I think a lot of people, are afraid कि हमारा accounts खराब है तो shortlist ही नहीं आएगा. So to clear all that doubts, yes, I had shortlist from consulting companies as well, both in summers and finals. Simple and short answer. It's all depends on your CV and how you present your answers. उसके बाद में. That is it, I guess. Thanks a lot for joining, guys. Please
Thank you so much for tuning in. And of course, yes, like our video, subscribe to our channel, and please comment what you think about this video, anything else that you want us to make videos on. And if this was useful to you, it'd be great to hear from you. And it will also motivate us to make such videos if we hear something good about the video. So if there is something, do let us know.
Yeah. And if you find this video interesting and if you think it is helpful, please share it with your friends as well. Yeah, that is it from our side. Signing off. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Bye-bye. Good night.
Bye-bye.